Here's the all-time NBA leaderboard for points per minute. We see Luka Doncic in second place. Behind him are some legends like Michael Jordan and George Gervin, but also some stars of the 2020s and 2010s like LeBron, Steph, and KD. Who's first, you might ask? It's Joel Embiid, and he's in an entire league of his own, much higher than Luka. Last night against the Spurs, the Cameroonian big man tallied record-breaking numbers of 70 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists. He broke the Sixers scoring record and became the first player in NBA history to put up 17, 15, and 5 in one game. Also, he only did this on one turnover. While Joel Embiid caught everyone's attention last night, he's been putting up incredible performances like this all season long. He's currently averaging 36.1 points per game, which would be a top 10 mark all time. If he keeps this up, it's no doubt that he will become a two-time MVP. Yeah, fans always seem to have two issues with Embiid. First, the amount of free throws he shoots, and second, his lack of postseason success. First, let's address the free throw issue. In his 70-point outburst last night, he went 21 from 23 from the free throw line. Joel is currently leading the NBA in free throws attempted per game, slightly ahead of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Both of these players have a very high usage rates and do a majority of the scoring from the inside. So, when they go up for layups or dunks, there will be lots of contact that can get called for fouls. It's simply that these players are extremely dominant inside the paint, and fouling might be the best shot at stopping them. If we look at the all-time free throws attempted per game, Embiid comes in at third, behind Wilt Chamberlain and Bob Pettit. Both players existed long before the modern era of basketball, but I don't hear anyone calling either of those guys free throw merchants. Right below Embiid in free throws attempted per game is Shaq, who's unanimously considered the most dominant player of all time. The problem is not free throws attempted, but free throws made. When comparing the free throw percentages of these guys, Embiid is the only one with a career average above 80, Bob Pettit and Giannis are in the 70s, and Wilt and Shaq are in the 50s. The modern big man can just do so much more than the older big men who are only known as paint forces. In today's NBA, getting to the line is a skill that all stars need to have. In fact, let's compare Embiid to some of his peers. When we look at some recent high-scoring performances, all these players needed free throws. Last season, Damian Lillard scored 71 points, 14 for 14 on free throws. Donovan Mitchell's 71-point game, 20 for 25 on free throws. Giannis' 64-point game earlier this year, he was 24 for 32 from the line. Luka's 60-point triple-double last year, 16 of 22 from the free throw line. And yesterday, Kat scored 63 by going 15 of 16 from the free throw line in a loss. So when players have these historic type performances, free throws are just a part of a high-scoring game. When you're shooting that much in a game, you're bound to draw more shooting fouls and just get to the line more. This false notion that Embiid scores purely off of free throws is so wrong. I mean, in the month of December, he averaged 40, 13, and 5 on 61 from the field, 42 from 3, and 92 from the free throw line. And in the month of January 2024, he's actually kept it up. Since the new year, he's averaging 40.3 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, on a little bit worse, 54, 41, 87 splits. I mean, he's averaging 40 points in back-to-back months on crazy efficiency, like better than anything Kevin Durant's ever done. He's a center on the third highest usage rate of all time, and he's putting up this stats on such great efficiency. His defense has also improved, putting him up there with players like Anthony Davis and Giannis as one of the best two-way big men in the entire league. When opponents shoot with Embiid guarding them, they shoot 6% worse than usual, which is tied for third in the league for centers. And in the paint, his defense gets even better, with opponents shooting 10% worse than usual when he guards them. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that he's averaging a career-high 6 assists per game. I mean, the difference between past years of Embiid is that he's added playmaking now to his offensive arsenal. We all know how good of a scorer he's been, but now his game is just truly unpredictable, and we don't even know what he's going to do with the ball in his hands. After all, he's led the league in points per game in 3 straight seasons. Not only is he a paint beast, but he's developed a deadly free throw line jumper, utilizing his skilled handle and shooting for being a 7-footer. However, when he would get doubled or tripled, he would force shots up in past seasons. And while this worked sometimes and he made the shots, he became a weaker player offensively, and as a team, the 76ers struggled more. Last playoffs, teams like the Nets exclusively put their best defenders on the task of guarding Embiid and tried to let other players score. After seasons of individual achievement, but no winning in the playoffs to show for it, Embiid had to make changes to his game. Not only is he having his best individual season scoring-wise, he's making passes no one has ever seen from him. And when teams send doubles, he practically palms the ball with one hand and zips it over to his counterparts like Oubre, Maxey, or Tobias Harris and create open shots that result in easy baskets for his teammates. Going into last night's game against the Spurs, Embiid was facing the alien-like specimen that is rookie Victor Wembanyama. It was a test for both Embiid and the 7'5" Wembanyama. We had never seen this type of matchup between the two guys who were really skilled in their own unique ways. And not only did Embiid put on a show, he dominated. His 34 points a half were the most he's ever had in a single half, and unlike Karl Anthony Towns, he made sure to make the best basketball play he could in the process down the stretch. We saw him dishing out to teammates in the fourth quarter while he had 60 plus points, and going into the fourth quarter, Embiid specifically told his teammates not to force him the ball and play good basketball and get the win. Because you don't want to end up like Karl Anthony Towns losing a game where he had 60 plus. Embiid had 70 and got the dub. Not only is this new version of Embiid the most well-rounded we've seen him, but it leads to the best team performance. The team is only a half a game behind the Bucks for the second seed in the East, and this roster this year around Embiid is probably the best that's been built around him. If Embiid and the Sixers keep it up, not only could we see some more hardware going to the Cameroonian big man, but we could see them having a good shot at the Larry OB. Thank you guys for watching. Embiid has been one of the most overhated players in my league, I think, considering he's actually the MVP so far. Everyone thinks he doesn't win, is a free throw merchant, but he's a really fun player to watch, and he's dominating like we've never seen before. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.